The sound of drums echoes through the misty forest. A young woman's heart pounds as she runs barefoot through the undergrowth, branches catching at her ceremonial robes. Behind her, the steady rhythm of pursuit grows closer. This isn't fear driving her forward. It's tradition. She stumbles, catches herself, and glances back. A figure emerges from the shadows, her chosen suitor, face painted in ceremonial colors. If he catches her before dawn breaks, she'll become his wife. If not, well, that's a different story entirely. This is ancient Rome. The year is 753 BC. And what you're witnessing is one of the most shocking relationship customs in human history. A practice so controversial, it would reshape an entire civilization. But this is just the beginning. Today, we're diving deep into 7 ancient relationship customs that will completely change how you think about love, marriage, and human connection. These aren't just historical footnotes. They're windows into the human heart, revealing desires, fears, and social structures that shaped our ancestors' lives. Some will shock you. Others will make you question everything you thought you knew about romance. And one might actually make perfect sense in today's world. Are you ready to step back in time? Custom 1. The Roman bride capture. Let's return to that forest chase. The woman's name is Julia. The man pursuing her is Marcus, a Roman soldier. What looks like a violent kidnapping is actually an elaborate wedding ritual called marriage by capture, or in Latin, raptus. But here's where it gets interesting. Julia isn't running because she's forced to. She's running because she chose Marcus. This entire chase is theater, deadly serious theater that could determine her entire future. In early Roman society, women held more power than you might think. The bride could choose her pursuer. She could run just fast enough to make it exciting, or slow enough to ensure capture. She controlled the outcome while appearing powerless. The Romans believed this ritual honored Romulus and the legendary rape of the Sabine women, the mythical event that supposedly populated early Rome. But the real reason runs deeper. Marriage by capture served a brutal practical purpose in a warrior society where showing strength mattered more than showing affection. Think about it. Would you marry someone who couldn't even catch you in a forest? As dawn breaks, Marcus's hand finally grasps Julia's wrist. She doesn't resist. In that moment, 2 lives intertwine forever. But was this love? Or just survival dressed up as romance? The chase is over. But our journey into the past has only just begun. Custom 2. Celtic handfasting, the ultimate trial run. Picture this. A windswept hill in ancient Scotland. 2 figures stand facing each other, hands bound together with rope made from sacred vines. No priest. No formal ceremony. Just a promise that will change everything. This is handfasting, and it's about to challenge everything you think you know about marriage. Meet Aine and Cian. They're Celtic farmers from the 5th century. They've known each other since childhood, but today, they're taking a leap of faith that would terrify most modern couples. They're getting married for exactly 1 year and 1 day. That's right, temporary marriage. After 365 days, they can choose to make it permanent or simply walk away. No questions asked. No social stigma. No messy divorce proceedings. The Celts understood something we've forgotten. Compatibility takes time to discover. During their year together, Aine and Cian will face harvests and famines, celebrations and grief, passion and boredom. They'll discover if their love can survive not just romance, but reality. But here's the twist that makes this custom truly revolutionary. If Aine becomes pregnant during their handfasting year, the marriage automatically becomes permanent. The child's welfare trumps personal choice. Imagine if we had this system today. How many divorces might we prevent? How many people would choose their partners more carefully, knowing they had to prove compatibility first? As Aine and Cian's hands are bound together, the Celtic priest speaks words that echo across centuries. You are bound in body, but free in spirit. Choose wisely. 1 year to decide a lifetime. Would you take that bet? Custom 3. Ancient Egyptian sibling marriage, when bloodlines mattered more than love. The golden death mask glints in the flickering torchlight. Inside the tomb of Tutankhamun lies not just a pharaoh, but one of history's most controversial love stories. Meet Ankhesenamun. She's beautiful, intelligent, and royal. She's also Tutankhamun's half-sister. And in ancient Egypt, that didn't just make their marriage acceptable, it made it divine. For over 3,000 years, Egyptian royalty practiced sibling marriage with a fervor that would shock modern sensibilities. Brothers married sisters, fathers sometimes married daughters, and the family trees looked more like family wreaths. But why? Why would an advanced civilization embrace what we now consider taboo? The answer lies in Egyptian theology. The pharaoh wasn't just a king, he was a living god. And gods, the Egyptians believed, could only produce divine children with other gods. Marrying outside the royal bloodline would dilute divinity itself. Ankhesenamun didn't choose this life. She was born into it. Raised from birth knowing her body belonged not to love, but to dynasty. Her marriage to Tutankhamun wasn't about romance. It was about maintaining cosmic order. The genetic consequences were devastating. Tutankhamun himself suffered from multiple birth defects, clubfoot, and died at just 19. Their children were stillborn. The bloodline they fought so hard to preserve ultimately destroyed itself. But here's what's truly haunting. In their tomb artwork, Tutankhamun and Ankhesenamun are depicted touching tenderly, gazing into each other's eyes. Despite everything, did they find real love in an impossible situation? As you stand in that tomb today, looking at those golden faces, you can't help but wonder. When bloodlines matter more than hearts, who really wins? Custom 4, Japanese Miai, the art of orchestrated romance. The cherry blossoms are in full bloom. In a traditional tea house overlooking a tranquil garden, two families sit in careful formation. Between them, two young people who have never spoken meet for the first time. Their entire future hangs on the next hour. This is Miai, Japan's ancient system of formal matchmaking. And it's about to reveal a startling truth about arranged marriage. Meet Yuki, a 20-year-old merchant's daughter, and Hiroshi, a 25-year-old samurai. They're sitting across from each other, stealing glances while their families negotiate not just a wedding, but a business alliance, social advancement, and the continuation of two bloodlines. But here's what makes Miai fascinating. This isn't forced marriage. It's engineered compatibility. For months before this meeting, professional matchmakers called Nakodo have investigated everything. Yuki's temperament, Hiroshi's financial prospects, their family's reputations, even their astrological compatibility. Nothing is left to chance. The matchmakers know that Yuki loves poetry and flower arrangement. They know Hiroshi practices calligraphy and plays the shamisen. They've determined that both families value honor, education, and service to the community. As Yuki pours tea with practiced grace, she's not just serving a beverage. She's demonstrating the skills that will make her a worthy wife. When Hiroshi accepts the cup with perfect etiquette, he's showing his respect for tradition and her effort. This isn't love at first sight. It's compatibility at first meeting. During their brief conversation, they discover shared interests, similar values, complementary personalities. The matchmakers have done their work well. These two strangers are discovering they might actually like each other. But here's the revolutionary part. If either Yuki or Hiroshi feels no connection, they can politely decline. No shame, no punishment. The matchmakers simply try again. Studies show that marriages arranged through Miai had lower divorce rates than Western love marriages of the same period. Why? Because they were built on compatibility rather than just passion. As the cherry petals fall outside the tea house window, Yuki and Hiroshi exchange their first real smile. Sometimes, the heart follows where wisdom leads. Custom 5, Viking bride price and morning gifts, when love had a price tag. The longboat cuts through icy waters under the northern lights. Inside, a Viking warrior named Eric grips a leather pouch containing his entire fortune. Tomorrow, he'll offer it all for love. But this isn't the Viking romance you think you know. In 9th century Scandinavia, marriage was business. Brutal, practical, life or death business. And the price of love could bankrupt a man or make him wealthy beyond imagination. Eric is heading to claim Astrid, daughter of a powerful jarl. But first, He must pay the bride price, compensation to her family for losing her labor, protection, and childbearing potential. For Astrid, his offering 20 silver arm rings, 2 breeding cows, and a set of matching amber jewelry. It sounds mercenary, but here's what's brilliant about the Viking system. It proved commitment. Any man could declare love, but how many would sacrifice their wealth for it? The bride price wasn't about buying a woman. It was about proving you valued her enough to risk everything. But the story doesn't end there. The morning after their wedding night, if Eric has proven himself a worthy husband, Astrid will receive the morning gift, property that belongs to her alone. Land, livestock, jewelry, sometimes even ships. This isn't a present from Eric. It's her insurance policy. In a world where women couldn't inherit from their fathers, the morning gift gave them economic independence. If Eric turned cruel or died young, Astrid would still be wealthy in her own right. Think about it. While medieval European women owned nothing, Viking women could divorce their husbands and walk away with substantial property. They could run businesses, own slaves, even lend money. As Eric's longboat approaches the shore, he's not just carrying a bride price. He's carrying proof that sometimes the most practical systems create the most freedom. The northern lights dance overhead. In the land of warriors, even love required strategy. Custom 6, ancient Greek sacred prostitution, when physical love served the gods. The temple rises majestically from the clifftop, its marble columns gleaming in the Mediterranean sun. Inside, something extraordinary is about to happen. Something that challenges every assumption about ancient spirituality and human sexuality. This is the Temple of Aphrodite in Corinth. The year is 500 BC, and you're about to witness one of history's most misunderstood practices, sacred prostitution. Meet Calliope. She's not what you might expect. Educated, cultured, choosing her own destiny in a world that rarely gave women choices. She's a hierodule, a sacred prostitute who serves the goddess of love through physical union. But this isn't what modern minds imagine. Calliope isn't desperate or degraded. She's powerful, revered. In Corinth, she commands more respect than many married women. Men travel from across the Mediterranean to reach this temple, not just for physical pleasure, but for spiritual connection. The Greeks believed that sexual union, performed in the right sacred context, could bring humans closer to divine ecstasy. When a wealthy merchant from Athens approaches Calliope, he's not just seeking gratification. He's seeking transcendence. She leads him through rituals of purification, prayers to Aphrodite, offerings of wine and honey. Their union isn't crude or hurried. It's ceremonial, sacred, designed to honor the goddess who governs not just lust, but love, beauty, and the creative force that drives all life. The gold coins he leaves aren't payment for services. They're offerings to the goddess, shared with Calliope as her priestess. Here's what's revolutionary. In a society where most women were trapped in arranged marriages, these temple servants chose their partners, controlled their earnings, and wielded genuine religious authority. But was this liberation or exploitation dressed up as spirituality? Even the Greeks debated this question. As the sun sets behind the temple columns, casting long shadows across the sacred chambers, one question lingers. In our modern separation of sexuality and spirituality, what wisdom might we have lost? Custom 7. Medieval European courtly love, when romance became art. A lute plays softly in the castle courtyard. A knight in polished armor kneels before a married lady, offering her a single white rose. She accepts it with the slightest smile, and with that gesture, launches 1,000 poems. This is 12th century France. And you're witnessing the birth of romantic love as we know it. Meet Guillaume, a landless knight, and Eleanor, wife of a powerful duke. Their love affair will never be consummated. It may never even be acknowledged publicly, but it will inspire art, literature, and an entirely new way of thinking about human relationships. This is courtly love, and it's about to revolutionize Western civilization. Before this moment, marriage was about property, alliance, and survival. Love was nice if it happened, but hardly necessary. Then the troubadours of southern France invented something radical. the idea that romantic passion could elevate the human soul. Guillaume doesn't want to possess Eleanor. That would cheapen their bond. Instead, he wants to serve her, honor her, become worthy of her through noble deeds. She becomes his inspiration for courage, poetry, and spiritual growth. Their relationship exists in stolen glances, exchanged letters, and elaborate courtly rituals. She drops her handkerchief during a feast. He keeps it like a holy relic. He wins tournaments in her honor, wearing her colors but never claiming victory as his right to her bed. This might seem absurd, but consider the impact. For the first time in Western history, women were being idealized rather than just utilized. Female intelligence, beauty, and spiritual worth became subjects of artistic celebration. The literature of courtly love spread across Europe, fundamentally changing how people thought about relationships. The idea that marriage should include romantic love, revolutionary at the time, began here. But there's a dark side to this romantic revolution. By placing women on impossibly high pedestals, courtly love made them less human and more symbol. The real Eleanor had thoughts, desires, and ambitions that the courtly love tradition largely ignored. As Guillaume rides away from the castle, carrying Eleanor's favor into battle, he's carrying more than silk. He's carrying the seed of an idea that would reshape love itself. The age of romance had begun. But at what cost? If you found these stories as fascinating as I did, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We've got more incredible historical mysteries waiting to be uncovered. What ancient custom would you want to see explored next? Let me know in the comments below.